What's going on, guys? PXCam back in with a brand new video. We are here for some daily race C action as we are running around Suzuka circuit in the Megane, and you can see there's a sea full of Meganes here as that was the more dominant car on this race. But it wasn't the only car that was being chosen. I did see some WRXs, Ferrari, a Tenza, and I believe I saw a Scirocco as well. So it's a good combination of Group 4 cars, but the Megane was the dominant car, not because of its pace or because of its handling or its top end speed, but just because it does so well with the tires. And this was a no-stop race, which you had to conserve the tires. So let's see how we do here. So we got a 3-2-1. We go into turn number 1. Just make sure that we don't go too far onto the outside. Don't go too wide onto the corner because it could easily lead to a disaster if you hit that AstroTurf. Just leads you straight into the shadow realm. But luckily it looks like us and everybody else, according to the minimap, made it through without any incidents. So that's good to see as we are now stuck behind the Peruvian and the Argentinian heading into Dunlop Curve. So just keeping an eye with the cars right behind, making sure they're not getting too close, and just making sure no one's going to make a move onto the inside of Degner 1, Degner 2 as we head there for the first time. We just keep an eye on the guards up in front as they get a tad bit squirrely due to the Peruvian missing his apex. And now things get a little bit backed up here as we are stuck behind the Peruvian train. Keep a defensive line on the inside heading into the hairpin, and we're able to hold off our 4th place position now as we have Ram Latifi right behind us, just taking a little sniff onto the inside, making sure that we can see where he's going to be going here as we're going to head into Spoon Curve for the first time. Heading to Spoon, you can see on the mini map that Latifi just snaps it onto the inside, breaks out of there, and tries to go for the overtake, but he kind of backs out, gives us plenty of room, so glad on him. But off of Spoon Curve, the Peruvian just gets 2 wheels onto that AstroTurf, heads straight into the barrier, and that is RIP for that man right there as we are now heading side by side with Latifi. So side by side into 130R usually never works out, especially for the car on the outside, and look at that, we are the car on the outside as we just run a tad bit wide, get into that nasty marbles, and we lose all the grip that we could have had heading to 130R and lose a position. Actually, not lose 1 position, but we lose 2 position as Muhammad takes full advantage of that and gets around us heading into the chicane. So 2 positions down after 130R, not looking positive on our end, but at least in total, or at least where we started at, we only lost 1 position because of the Peruvian that just yeeted himself straight into the barrier, and we're only down into 5th, so still not out of this race. 1st place is not too far up the road, only 3.5 seconds, and I know I'm running with a really quick pack of cars right here with Muhammad and Latifi. I saw these guys racing earlier. This is our 2nd time racing against each other, and I know they could put in some pretty good qualifying, well, not good qualifying line, but good race laps. So as long as we could just stay with them, keep in the slipstream, save even some tires right here, we can maybe make some magic happen here, catch up to the Argentinian and the American in 1st and 2nd, and who knows, maybe we could fight ourselves for the win as this is a 9-lap race, so plenty of time. Don't want to overreact here. We just have to think about the bigger picture and just maintain focus on hitting all the apexes and keeping those tires nice and fresh. So into the hairpin now for the 2nd time. You can see Latifi goes a tad bit wide. Muhammad gets a really great run, but just follows right back in line with Latifi as we head out of Spoon Curve. Heading down the straight, leading us to 130R. This is where the penalty zone is at, so it was a little bit scary because I didn't know where Latifi was going to end up here after that penalty. We actually got close enough to him where we were able to take full advantage of the half-a-second penalty. And look at that, guys. We were able to find our way back into 4th place. Just told you, just had to be a little bit patient, just focus on hitting our marks, and things are looking positive here as we were able to stay right behind Muhammad, and we were actually gaining on the leader. The leader was about 3.5 seconds on the 2nd lap in through the S's, and now as we head into the 3rd lap into 130R, you can see that the gap is getting smaller and smaller as Muhammad has reached up those top 2, and now we're trying to work our way up to catch up this podium group and see if we can snatch ourselves a podium, maybe even a win. So off of the chicane again, you can see that the gap is just getting smaller and smaller as it's now smaller than 2 seconds, and Muhammad is starting to get a little bit impatient here in 3rd place as he is looking for any which way to get around the Megans, as you can see that they're kind of holding him up, but that's what I want to see. I want to see them hold him up, because what that means, he's going to get impatient, he's going to start fighting with them, and all that's going to do is slow themselves down and allow me to catch right back up and fight for this position right here. So into the S's once again, we head into Dunlop curve, and you can just see that just Muhammad's just getting a really great run off the exit, and just pushing them again up in second. Doesn't want to go for the overtake heading into Degner 1, because it's a very risky move. Usually Degner 1, Degner 2, you don't want to try to make an overtake. It's usually just a single lane corner, but you can see off of the corner he gets a really great run as the Argentinian gets a really great run on the American. Not sure if he just got a really bad exit, but look at this. It is now a 3-car battle for first, as we are going to get our nose into this, and we are now in the slipstream of the Argentinians. So this has turned from a 3-car, actually a 2-car battle, to a 3-car battle, to now a 4-car battle for the lead. And we are not going to back out here. We are going to try to see if we can find our way onto the inside of one of these corners and try to go for the overtake. So riding along right behind with the Argentinian, we come off of the spoon curve and just stay right here in the slipstream as we take a little peek behind us, and actually looked like someone behind had a penalty. Not sure if that was a Key or John Wayne, but somebody behind had a penalty, so he had to serve right there, and that's going to be bad luck for them. But into 130R, Muhammad gets a really great run as Username just gets a really bad exit. We're able to get into the outside that's not going to turn to the inside of the chicane, and we get an easy overtake due to Username making that huge mistake coming out of 130R, and we're just able to, the closing rate was so fast, we just had to make a split second decision, and luckily we picked the right decision of going to the right hand side, and we were able to overtake the Argentinian Jean. But I wish we could have just keep it on the inside heading to chicane, and maybe we could have gotten Username, as I'm a little bit worried about Muhammad leading this race. Now that he has open track and open space, it can be a little bit daunting on us, because he's going to be putting in some really quick lap times, and we have to get around Username as soon as possible, because the longer that we wait right behind Username, the more that Muhammad's going to start pulling away, as you can see that he has a really fast car and some really good grip. So we definitely have to get around Username here. So off of John Love curve, we get a really good run, but just nowhere to go except for the rear bumper of Username. We take a little peek onto the inside into Degner 1 and 2, but just did not want to go for it. Again, Degner 1, you really have to be committed to on the inside, or be at least like half a car length ahead of the car on the outside if you want to make that work, just because it's just a fast corner. You end up going into the you end up going wide off of the corner anyway, so it can easily lead to disaster if either you getting spun out or pushing the car on the outside into the gravel trap. So we just decided to bite our tongue, just wait a little bit more and try to see if we can find a better opportunity to make the overtake, as we now head back into spoon curve. We take a little peek onto the inside, brake as late as we can, but Username brakes later, and he's able to defend his position once again. But all this battling right here is just allowing Muhammad to just pull away. And I'm just looking at the gap right here. It was about a second heading into the hairpin, but now coming out of spoon curve leading us into 130R, it is getting pushed up to about a second, almost 2 seconds now. And this is not going to be good for us as we take a peek onto the inside, take a very aggressive move into the 130R. We're on the outside heading to the chicane, brake as late as we can. Can we get the car slowed down? Yes, we can. And we're able to gain that second place position away from Username. Beautiful overtake, if I have to say so myself. But the job's not over here. Now we just have to run down Muhammad, make sure that we saved enough of the tires to put in some really quick lap times, as we only have about 3 laps left from where we were at right there. So into lap number 8 now. We're heading to Degner 1 and into Degner 2. You can see that the gap is not getting smaller, it's actually getting larger, and this is exactly why we wanted to try to stay with Muhammad, because I know if I could have stayed in the slipstream, maybe, just maybe, we could have been able to keep up with him and try to go for a late move for that win. But off of the chicane, we were able to at least reel him in by about half a second, but going down to the line, he decides to slow down, give us a little bit of a troll, spins himself out. We actually were almost able to get that first place position. You can see how tight it was, only 1/10 of a second. So all that trolling that Muhammad did could have easily led to him losing the race. But as we now jump into our second race, we decided to do some daily race B action around St. Croix. as we are in the GTR, starting off in 7th place. But look at that, right ahead of us we have our boy, our friend Ram Latifi, the Canadian, in 6th place. So we're gonna see if we can have some fun here now as we get our 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So down the straight for the first time, just warming up the tires here. It is the medium compound tires. 3 laps around this 2-minute lap racetrack around St. Croix. It's a very, very technical track, a lot of corners and a lot of high-speed corners, actually, to be frank. And it's a very difficult one. It's a lot of high speed and a couple of slow speed corners, but if you mess up one of these corners, because just of the way the track flows, you can easily lose about a second, 2 seconds, just because one corner just leads into the next, and it can definitely just ruin that flow. You can see yourself losing a lot of times. So you just have to be very, very careful on this track, not push it a lot. And as we make contact with the wall right there, right as I said, not to push it a lot, but yeah, you don't want to push it too much, but you still want to be smooth and aggressive, if that makes sense. But as we head down the straight, leading us into this very slow left-hander, we're staying right behind Latifi as we're starting to get pressured by the 8th place driver of Porta. But as we come into the right-hander, for some reason Latifi just slows down, and not sure what that was about, to be honest. I don't know if he just lagged out or accidentally pushed the pause button, but he slowed down tremendously, and that scared me a lot because I thought we were going to run into the back of him, which allowed the Panamanian in 6th place to just get around us on the inside. And now we're under pressure by 7th, the American and the racer, and we lose 2 positions there, or actually 3 positions in total, but 2 positions down the straight after we got overtaken by Porta. And now we are fighting here for the 6th place position as we are down back into 9th place, leading us into this really, really fast section here on this final part of the racetrack. So heading down the straight, leading us into the final corner, we spot a braking point right after the 100-meter board, right before the 50-meter board. And we were able to just stay right behind these guys as the 2 Americans are fighting side by side. Get a really great run due to the slipstream and the exit. We go into the inside, try to make it 3 wide, but we think better of it, just back out and accidentally make contact with the Supra. Almost sent into the shot run, but in contact with the Supra, we accidentally slow ourselves down here as we now are starting to get pressured by the Brazilian of I Took Your Job, and he's keeping it bay here as he's on the outside heading into this left-hander. We're able to just creep up in front of him. He gave us plenty of room, and we're able to hold off this 9th place position as we were getting pressured all over left and right from the Brazilian. So really great racing with him right there, but we have to continue focusing ahead of us and try so we can get back around these 2 Americans and catch up to the guy from Panama in 6th place. So coming off to the right-hander, we're heading down the straight once again. This is our 2nd lap, only 3 laps again, remember guys. So we're already halfway through the race here as we are going down to this left-hander, spot a braking point right before the 100-meter board, but the Supra and the GTR make a little bit of contact. The Supra tries to keep it under wraps, just couldn't keep it together, spins out, makes contact with our left. And at this point I'm a tad bit worried because if you guys know the penalty on GT Sport, a little bit of contact even like that can result in a penalty. But as we jump up forward into the race, coming down to the 3rd lap, actually passing the line to lead us into the 3rd lap, you can see we got blessed by the GT gods and we did not get a penalty, so we can continue fighting on here. There's just a yellow flag and a spun out Brazilian on the inside. That is another free position for us, just everybody dying left and right ahead of us. Not sure what's going on in this race, but we now are starting to pressure the GTR in 6th place and just trying to see if we can get around him here as he takes a very defensive line into the right-hander. It's a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. That is great for us as we get a really good exit. And it is now side by side with the GTR heading into the left-hander. Can we brake later than him and regain the 6th place position now as we brake right before the 100-meter board? Just brakes a tad bit later and he's able to hold off that 6th place position, but still not over. We still have a very long straight right after this a very long and slow right-hander. Just have to take it nice and easy, make sure you hit that apex, get a really great exit, and right there we go. We are right behind him. This is exactly where we want to be at. We get the slipstream. Maybe we can get an overtake done here before we hit the hard braking zone of the right hairpin. So On the left hand side now, we are going side by side as we try to break as late as we can into this hairpin. Just keep it on the inside, trying to pinch him down. Side by side, plenty of respect racing as he almost makes contact with us, but he keeps it on the right and he backs out of the move there as we head into these fast left and right corners. This is probably the most difficult turns on the track right here, is you just have to hit them perfectly. If you don't, you accidentally make contact with the wall, and that's exactly what we do there as we get overtaken now by the Supra of Shaky Banky right at the end. And that 6th place position that we're going to be able to get just gets lost in the matter of a second because we made contact with the wall, and we finish off where we started off, right here in 7th place position. And that is all she wrote for this really amazing race. Honestly, it was a really fun race. I didn't think I was gonna have so much fun around St. Croix, because this is one of the tracks that I despise. I don't know, I always feel like racing around here just leads to boring racing, but with these cars around this track, it just leads to some really great racing and some really great action. So good job with Polyphony on this combination. This was actually a really good one here. Actually, this week has just been a really good one with Daily Race B and Daily Race C. Haven't done Daily Race A, but maybe it's probably good as well. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. But let me know how you guys are doing here in the comments down below. If you guys really enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. If you guys made it all the way to the end as well, make sure that you guys follow me on the Twitters, Instagram, and on Discord, as you can find all those in the links down below in the description. And since you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.